Hopefully everybody is having a good time wherever you're at. If you're just waking up, good morning, good evening. Welcome everybody back to the live streams. If you like this video, press the like button. More so, please subscribe. And even more so, please share this video if you find it helpful. If you guys have any recommendations for videos, please advise for sure. This morning I was running out of topics, and then I finally came up with one. I would have thought that I would run out of topics because we got over 1,000 videos on this channel, maybe 1,020 videos. That's 1,020 topics that have came up in probably like a 3 years time frame. I'm not sure if any of you have began or been with us since the beginning of time when we started the channel, but if you are definitely a straggler, or somebody different. Anyhow, hey, what's up, Mike from the Professional Security Journal? Good morning. Anyhow, I want to talk about equipment. When you're starting off as a new private security officer, a new security guard, maybe a public safety officer in private sector, what are some things that you don't need, or what are the things that you need? Now, I'm the one that started off with buying all kinds of stupid equipment. And when I say stupid, I'm referring to things I didn't even need, things I couldn't even use on the job. First off, the biggest mistake is buying a brand new Camaro Super Sport. That was the most stupidest decision I ever made as a private security officer, private security guard at the age of 19-ish, maybe going on 20. That's just dumb. You don't want to buy something so expensive that you're gonna regret it for years, and then have to work overtime shifts just to make the payment. That's just the dumbest thing in the world. Having said that, the first question you have to ask is, what do I need? What do I need, and what is needed for the job? And by the way, if you've been in private security for even a day and you have some recommendations, or you have some input, I want to hear from you guys for sure. But the first question you have to ask is, do I really need this? Do I really need this? And actually, my stepfather, he sold me this theory some years ago when I was smaller and I didn't listen, right? He said, do you really need this thing that you're buying? Let's go through the equipment list, right? Do you need a new firearm? Do you need a new handgun? And that's the question. And I really think that a handgun is a huge investment. If you're going to work armed security, choose the best gun for you. Not just the best gun, but the best gun that you feel is maybe fitted to you. And there's been some disagreements in the firearm community that there is no gun that's fitted to you. I highly disagree. My first duty gun for armed security was a SIG 226, and I'm kind of outdating myself because there was no accessory or rail that came with it. And in those days, you wouldn't even have a light on your handgun. You would use the FBI technique, the Harry's technique, the Masab Ayub technique. You would use some other technique, but you really didn't see a lot of weapon-mounted lights. And the lights that were out there, they really didn't serve any justice. The weapon-mounted lights that I'm referring to. Having said that, and been through all of the firearms that I've had, and I do have quite a variety. I am the most accurate, honestly, guys, with the SIG 226. I have a Staccato P, the C, with like a $200 setup each. I have both of them. Glocks. I have the Springfield XD in 45 caliber. I just have so many, right? And the most accurate gun So far, it's a gun that I purchased over 2 decades ago. That's still the most accurate. And you might be asking, well, Sean, why don't you have it? Well, because I can't mount a weapon-mounted light on it, on any rail, because there is no 1913 rail on it. Having said that, buy the best gun that you can afford, because I think it's your greatest investment. You're gonna have it for years. Now, let's just say somebody hands you they give you a hand-me-down revolver, right? Like some police style revolver, like your great grandfather gave it to you, and that's it. That's all you have. I don't think it's a bad idea to go on duty with the revolver. And I think some would argue, well, that's stupid. Like, why should I carry a revolver on duty if I have to, if I have to reload, it's going to take a long time, and I'm going to end up a goner, right? Well, how much does it cost for you to practice reloading with a revolver in your house, like dry fire? How much does it cost you to buy like snap caps or inert or dummy rounds and practice reloading with the revolver? How much does that cost? Is it like $15? And how many times a week can you train? Can you do it every day? You absolutely can. Have you guys seen, I think it's Bob Modane and oh my goodness, the guy that works for Smith & Wesson, Jerry McCulloch. Have you guys seen him on the range? You want to get into a gunfight with Jerry McCulloch or Bob Modane? Good luck. And you might be saying, well, Sean, I'm not those professionals. Well, what are you doing right now? Are you just watching this video and not training? All I gotta say is, yes, you are at a slight disadvantage if you get a revolver, but you can level up that advantage by practicing, right? And in the average officer involved shooting, you're looking at, I think it was like between 4 to 6 rounds, right? After you get into a lethal force encounter, you're most likely going to have to reload with the revolver, but it's 4 to 6 rounds, right? And your duty style revolver, you're going to have at least 6 rounds, right? It's just something to think about. And maybe, you don't have time to, you don't have 5 minutes out of every single day. I get it. We're all busy. But what's to say that what's to say that later on that you purchase another handgun that you're more comfortable with or that you prefer? I'm just saying, don't go out of your way, right? You got your armed security job. You're given a hand-me-down revolver from your great grandfather, or your a relative or friend or something like that. Just work for 2 months or 3 months. Put in some overtime, and then you get that equipment. Just don't go broke. When I'm saying just don't go broke buying your handgun. Now, I know it kind of seems contradictory, but anyhow, a good holster. I honestly think that you should buy a good holster, or select a holster before you select your handgun. Because you might buy a handgun, yes, you might get that revolver, right, that doesn't fit into a holster that serves your purpose, that has the proper retention levels. When Staccato came out, I bought my first in 2020, when they just started marketing to law enforcement, maybe about 10, 11 months after they really started marketing to law enforcement. I had a problem finding a holster for it. There wasn't much of a selection, and lo and behold, some of the Glock models, I forgot which one it was, except the Staccato, but the 2011 holster manufacturers didn't really advertise that. They figured that they could probably make more money by creating a dedicated 2011 holster or staccato holster, instead of you just repurposing your Glock holster. Now, I don't know if it was Glock that fit the staccatos, but there was one brand of holsters. I'm sorry, one holster that fit a certain make or model of a pistol that could accommodate the staccatos. So first thing is find the proper holster. I've been through so many holsters, guys. My suggestion is to choose Safariland as your duty holster. Maybe this, I think it's like the 6200 series or 6000 series holster. That's my suggestion to you, and probably a triple retention, especially if you're gonna work private security. Give me a second here. Okay, so Mike says Peacekeeper with the laughing face, or the laughing emoji. So the Peacekeeper is also known as the RCB baton. It's a collapsible baton that has a larger circumference. My recommendation, I would choose an RCB baton over an ASP or a Monadnock just because of the width and the weight. I don't know have you guys held an RCB baton before? It just gives you that feeling of confidence because of that density feeling it has. My baton right now, and you guys are gonna be laughing, but it's the old 29-inch wooden baton that works great. I gotta show it to you guys again. But anyhow, let's just say, you know, your grandfather, Big Chucky, hands you a baton and says, hey, when I was a security guard or a cop, you know, 50, 100 years ago, this is the baton I used. Take it, right? Take it. Again, don't buy stuff you don't need yet. Take it if your employer allows you to carry it. Now, I work for two employers that said, no, you can't carry a straight stick baton. It has to be collapsible. And their argument is, it looks bad. Okay, whatever. It looks bad and intimidating. Well, yeah, you know what? It's actually, if that's a good thing, right? If you think it's intimidating, for me, it seems like it's a great de-escalation tool. Somebody squares up on you and they see old Woody. Yep, for sure, right? For sure. They see old Woody. Nah. Oh, I guess RCB goes in 21, 24, 26, and 29. Oh, I would for sure buy the 29-inch one. Guys, don't go cheap on the baton. I don't want to put ASP down. Maybe I don't have enough experience with it, but I just seen those fail so many times. Now, should you go on eBay or Amazon and buy an Amazon baton, like an Amazon collapsible baton? Absolutely not. No, don't. Please don't do that, guys. Let's just say it has 50,000 positive reviews. Should I get it? No. If it has, like, you know, 4 or 5 stars, should I get it? No. Don't go cheap, guys, on batons. I just seen zero success with the baton, and the reason why a lot of guys carry the ASP, the collapsible, is for convenience, right? They don't want a big, huge stick stabbing at their leg. On one occasion, I tried to get out of the squad car, and my baton got wedged between the seat and the door, and I got stuck and I got flipped around. It's happened at least like 5 times, maybe 10 times, and I ended up injuring one of my knees doing that. I could see that's why maybe you don't want a straight stick. The PR-24, right? They got the collapsible and the expanded one. My experience with those ones is it just gets in the way too much, but you can get a really good grip and you could do some amazing things with the PR-24, the side handle baton. You can climb obstacles. when somebody's walking away, you can actually, now it has to be within your use of force policy or guidelines, but you can grab them with the handle part of the baton. Now the only thing is they might grab it from you and use it against you, and that's topic of another story. Handcuffs. That's another thing you cannot go cheap on. Please do not go to the swap meet and buy its handcuffs. Don't buy any pair of non-name brand. Don't get something that's not a name brand, right? The old tested one is Peerless. It is Peerless, Peerless, and get your name inscribed on it if you can. I think it's like the Handcuff Warehouse or something like that. You can get your name etched on your handcuffs, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Peerless for me is the way to go. I've been using it for years. I seen like a 28, 29-year-old law enforcement veteran that has made a lot of arrests. He's carried Peerless for those amount of years, and I finally saw one break on him after all those years. And you're talking about, I don't think he even maintained his handcuffs. Just probably just cleaned it. And I'm pretty sure if he maintained it, oiled it properly, it would have lasted him longer than that. But I love the Peerless handcuff. Smith & Wesson, that's another pretty good brand, but I just the mechanics of it, I'm gonna defer to Peerless. What do you guys think? And then I have Asp. I have the Asp handcuff. It allows you to place handcuffs on somebody with the larger wrist size, right? I got the extra wide ones. And then with the brands I just mentioned, they probably have the larger editions. But short of those three brands, I just wouldn't get something else. I mean, those are tested over time. I've used those personally, and I'll vouch for all three. What do you guys think? Now, if you have a no handcuff policy, I still would buy handcuffs, but I would keep it in my car. You just never know. But on another note, if you keep it in your car, you might use it. So, it's up to you guys. I'm not gonna say I did this, but when I work unarmed, I'm not gonna say what I had in my car or what I had near me. I'm not gonna mention it on camera. Oh man. Hey, now I'll mention this on camera. When I was unarmed, I worked for PSC, Professional Security Consultants. They said you cannot have any weapons, like nothing at all, not even pepper spray. Again, in my opinion, they really didn't care about me. All they cared about is themselves and being sued. Because at one mall that I didn't work at, where there was a post, it was a post for them, or large account. It was one of the Westfield shopping centers. They were allowed to carry pepper spray, but not my shopping center, which is stupid because my shopping center, you really didn't have backup after, I think it was like 8 p.m. or 2000 hours. There's no backup. But that mall, you had like 5 or 7 security officers as backup. It's just stupid. Pepper spray, that's another thing. Go by the name brand ones. First Defense and Asp. I was talking to Mike from the Professional Security Journal. Asp has developed a new line of pepper spray products that are designed for law enforcement. They have that higher capsinoid content in there. I don't remember how much. What is it? Is it 166, 1.66, or 1.33? I'm driving on the road. I don't remember what the content is. Now, that's not my preferred. I prefer the least amount of capsinoid content in it, just because I am super sensitive to pepper spray. And the lowest dose works just fine, right? and it allows me to decontaminate a lot faster. A key pouch. Do you need a key pouch? That's something that, again, I bought. I waste my money. No, I mean, I didn't. Do you need a cell phone holder? How about just putting it in your pocket? I mean, it's just something to consider, guys. Yeah, if you don't want to get scratched up, I guess you can get a cell phone holder. Radio holder, you're gonna need that. Yeah, you probably need a radio holder. But for a couple of paychecks, can you just put it in your pocket? I mean, it's not recommended, but can you while you save up? Flashlight, do not. Well, I want to say don't go cheap on it, but you can. So I bought a $7 flashlight on Amazon for $2. I'm sorry, $7 for $2. That doesn't make any sense. 2 flashlights for $7, and they're USB rechargeable. I use those on bike patrol a little bit. I don't have a lot of time behind them, but can I use one of these flashlights for a month that have crappy candela, but enough to positively identify somebody? You gotta remember, in security, you may not be obligated to approach somebody or identify somebody at farther distances. I mean, depending on the project, project, right? I mean, this is a definitely debatable topic, but what I'm saying is, can you buy 2 for $7 on Amazon, an Amazon flashlight, until you get more money? And I would say absolutely yes. Yes, you can. Do I think that you should buy once and cry once? Meaning, I'm referring to buying something that's crappy, and later on you have to spend more money to buy something that's a better quality. Yeah, I'm referring to that. But I think $7 is a drop in the bucket for 2 flashlights. And that's another thing. You should have, for security, I think every security officer should have 2 flashlights. It doesn't matter if you're day shift or night shift, you should have 2 flashlights. You'll find in security, even day shift, you're going to need a flashlight. Just imagine, you got to enter indoors, transitory spaces. It goes dark and then it goes light. You might have to look inside of a closet for something, a stairwell. You need 2 flashlights. Oh my goodness. What a mouthful. Uniform pants. Okay. Do you have to buy $200 uniform pants that law enforcement buys at your local store? That's a good question. I don't know. Can you get away with a $20 Amazon pants and a $20 shirt? I think you can, until you get more money to buy the better stuff. Are you gonna have to buy again? Yeah, for sure. On another note, you're in California, I don't know if you guys realize this, but your employer is supposed to, if your employer requires a uniform, they have to supply you a uniform. I don't know if it's like that in the other states, but this is a thing. What else? Should you buy a security patrol vehicle? No. Guys, I've worked with people, security guards, that have bought their own patrol vehicle, like an old Crown Victoria, an old Ford Explorer, just to work a post. I think sometimes it goes down to the mental health component of it. Me personally, I prefer to be in any car that's not a police car when I'm off duty, or any law enforcement type of vehicle. But some people will do that, guys. They will buy an old police car so that they can use it for their post. I mean, they're getting $15 an hour or $20 an hour, and they have no vehicle, and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to just buy an old police car so I can use it for work too. I don't want to say it's cringy. I know some people do it that are not cringy. Personally, I know some people that they're decent people, but I just think that your employer should be providing you a patrol car if it's a requirement. Oh my goodness, I just saw a ladder right now on a roof at my work. Never mind, guys. I just thinking out loud. I just want to explore everything that I can today and yesterday and in the future. Anyhow, I'm gonna sign off before I ramble on too much. Let me know from you guys what is some necessary equipment, and what is some unnecessary equipment that you have bought over the years. Let the new guys hear from you guys in the comments.